Welcome to Sunshine Cathedral's Queer God Squad. It's Friday, March 7th. I am Darrell Watkins, the Senior Minister here at Sunshine Cathedral and Auxiliary Bishop of the Global Justice Institute and the current President of the Divine Science Federation. With me today is the Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell and the Reverend Kevin Tisdall, both of whom minister with me at Sunshine Cathedral. Visit sunshinecathedral.org to learn more about our progressive faith community and how you can be part of it no matter where you live in the world. Watch our streaming programs, ask for prayer, make donations, and also follow us on social media. We'd love to have you as part of the Sunshine Cathedral community, regardless of your location. And if you live in South Florida, be sure to check out the Sunshine Cathedral Center for the Performing Arts, offering entertainment for the LGBTQ+ community to benefit the LGBTQ+ community. Queer God Squad was created by Hotspots Happening Out to support our mission to explore the value of faith in the LGBTQ community. There is no streaming TV show like this in the entire world. In 2025, we are celebrating the 40th anniversary of Hotspots Magazine, the 5th anniversary of Queer News Tonight, with nearly 10,000 stories and 10 million views in 2024. We will produce the 25th anniversary of the Stonewall Pride Parade and Festival on June 14th, Pride Fete Diversity Pride in August, and now the near 50th anniversary of Pride Fort Lauderdale in February. We are the largest nonprofit LGBTQ media organization in America, and we encourage you to support our mission to inform, entertain, and educate our community and allies. The Queer God Squad is unique in that we apply critical thought to religion while still embracing what is good about religion, and all in support of the LGBTQIAA+ community. If you enjoyed the Queer God Squad, help us reach more people by sharing this or other episodes with your friends, family, and social media communities. This is the Sunshine Cathedral Perspective. Lent and the LGBTQ community from Ashes to Easter. Lent is a Christian observance that begins on Ash Wednesday. Ash Wednesday reminds us of our mortality, but begins Lent, which leads to Easter, representing immortality. Lent lasts 40 days, not counting Sundays, so this period reminds us of the 40 days Jesus spent fasting in the desert and struggling with doubts before beginning his public ministry. Lent culminates in Holy Week, which ends with the Triduum, Maundy Thursday, commemorating the Last Supper and Jesus' love command, Good Friday, observing Jesus' execution, and Holy Saturday, a liminal time of already and not yet, of awkward waiting and faint hope. To put a queer spin on it, some LGBTQ groups mix glitter with their ashes on Ash Wednesday. On Ash Wednesday, I say that we are made of earth dust and stardust and fairy dust. Our time on earth is limited, but it can be beautiful, even magical, as we live our lives authentically. I'm not one for deprivation, but if you want to give up something for Lent, give up shame, false guilt, regret, fears, self-criticism, prejudices, and any idea of an angry or cruel God. Maundy Thursday recalls a feast, a reminder for our community that even when facing difficult challenges, we can gather with our chosen family and celebrate our love and our resilience. Good Friday reminds us that heartache occurs, but it need not have the last word in our story. Easter is a day of emerging from the tomb or closet, to roll away the stone of despair and move into the light of hope and possibilities. Let's hear what Lent means to the Queer God Squad. I appreciate the Christian calendar, the liturgical calendar, because it's a cycle. Mm-hmm. And so we get to live the stories. And it was intentional that way. I mean, in a pre-literate time, by living it, you saw the stories on the windows, you saw the Stations of the Cross on the walls, you heard the gospel read. Although if it were in Latin, I don't know what you were hearing, but, and then you live these cycles. And so mm-hmm. There's Advent leading up to Christmas, and then Epiphany, which is the Magi, discovering the Holy Family. And then there's Lent, which is what we just talked about leading mm-hmm. up to Easter. And then there's Easter, which is new life. And then that leads to Pentecost and Trinity Sunday, and then ordinary time, so you're living the Bible story up through the birth of the church, mm-hmm. and then you're living as the church until it begins again with Advent. So you're living the story. So even if you can't read, even if you don't remember what you've heard a lot, you're still living it, and that's how it gets inside. So it's the ritual, the stories, the observance of the times. It's a way of embodying and living your faith. So I like that part. Also, ritual is powerful. I think ritual, sacraments, those are things carry us when we can't carry ourselves. Now, if we start worshiping them, then they get in the way. As long as we remember that the finger pointing to the moon is not the moon, then point away. But sacraments point, the rituals point. But once we start making them the thing, then they get in the way, which happens a lot in our faith. But they're meant to keep the story alive in us and point to greater mysteries that we then explore in our own ways. So I like that, and I particularly like that Lent represents a journey, and it's a difficult journey, and parts of life are difficult journeys. Yes. But the Lenten journey ends with amazing hope and celebration. So that keeps us going. Yes, this is a hard time. This is 40 days in the wilderness. This is 40 years in the wilderness. This is 40 days on a mountaintop. This is a long time. This is 40 days of rain and flood and deluge and disaster. This is a long, difficult time. But eventually the floodwaters recede. Eventually you enter the promised land. Eventually the tomb is empty. And so that's what I love about it, is that it reminds us, yes, difficulties happen, and there's something beyond them. And so that's what I love most about the tradition.
I grew up in a mainline Protestant faith tradition, Presbyterian. And we acknowledged Lent. I mean, when you walked in and you would hear the music, it was always in a minor tone. It was like, suffering because Jesus suffered, you must suffer. Well, I wasn't really digging that. We never really did Ash Wednesday. We never really had Ash Wednesday. We just kind of jumped right into Lent. But I don't really follow that anymore. Actually, I don't follow that at all anymore. I use the season of preparation, this time of Lent, just as a time of reflection, of intentional prayer, a little more spiritual study, things that will help to lift me up. Yes, we know there are difficult times, and we can find hope at the end of those difficult times. We can find hope also by doing a little more intentional prayer, a little more intentional spiritual reading, those kinds of actions. They help me to move through Lent, make Lent very meaningful for me.
Yeah, we do an extra prayer service during Lent. We do a midweek prayer service, all to say sort of evensong sort of service all through Lent, and we once a month collect groceries to fight food insecurity, but we do that weekly in Lent, and so that's what we're talking about. Just taking a little bit more, just going a little deeper, just for the period of preparation. And it makes it, I often call it, people say, well, why don't you have revivals or spiritual renewals? We do, we call it Lent.
I grew up in a Northern African American Baptist church. I remember going to school. I was bused to school in an area that was predominantly Catholic. So on Ash Wednesday, the kids would come in with clean faces, and at some time during the day, they would go and get smudged. And I'm like, well, what is this all about? Why the dirty face? And some of the adults, the teachers, mostly Jewish, would try to explain what Ash Wednesday was all about. And it wasn't until I was really an adult that I began to understand the significance of Ash Wednesday. I knew about Lent. I knew about Mardi Gras in New Orleans, getting ready for giving up something. And that was the part that I was always interested in. What makes those 40 days, really preacher math, 46 days, so important that you have to give something up? And then the question is asked, what do you give up? My stepfather gave up chocolate. Every year for 40 days of Lent, he wouldn't have chocolate. And I'm like, but Louis, what's the big deal? It's just something that we do. It's something Lent, he wouldn't have chocolate. And I'm like, but Louis, what's the big deal? It's just something that we do. It's something that we show that we care. I remember you, Bishop Watkins, going up to the pulpit with a can of Coca-Cola.
Sure did.
And saying, I ain't giving this up. What you said after that changed my perception of what Lent was all about. I don't have to give up something that is good for me, or at least comfortable for me. I can give up something that's not so good for me.
Yeah.
Give up my prejudices, give up my dislike for something, give up negative feelings, give up something that doesn't help me become a better human being.
Right.
So thank you very much, because I'm not giving up my Coke Zero. I am giving up yelling at my television as much as I do. But seriously, wish me luck.
So you'll be watching less television, is what I hear.
Yeah, I did not watch television on that magical day in March when the orange guy spoke to Congress.
Oh, ever.
And I didn't miss a darn thing.
Nope.
No.
Seriously though, knowing that there is structure in our church world helps me to get through a lot of things that I may not have been able to get through without that structure.
Right.
So I like it.
Do you remember this church in New Jersey where we both came from? The year we gave up Lent for Lent. I mean, the whole church, that was our Lenten discipline.
Oh my
we
gosh,
gave up
that's
Lent
right.
for Lent.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, my friends in New York, my church friends in New York thought that was, some thought, they all thought something about it. Some thought it was really, really creative and brave, and others thought it was just horrible. But yeah, we just gave up Lent for Lent, and it was to, of course, make a point. And we traditionally in Lent, you wear, people, they do the minor chords, the minor keys.
Yeah.
And they don't say hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Oh, yeah.
And any of that. And I refused to play that game. I did for years because that was the rule, I thought. But for the last, I don't know, decade, 2 decades, no, we're not doing that. Because if Sunday is the exception, it's the exception.
Make it the exception.
Yeah, so if we're going to be sad on Sundays, then Lent is 46 days.
Yeah.
But Lent is 40 days. And so Sunday is Sunday. Sunday is always a celebration. So we just hallelujah whenever we want to. We have fun music. We'll dance if we feel like dancing. We'll laugh at funny things. And so, so the way we keep Lent is by making sure Sunday is always Sunday. Sunday is always celebration day. It's always resurrection day, possibility day, new life day, renewal day. And so that's one of the ways that we do it at the Sunshine Cathedral. But we are known for doing things differently. We are hashtag a different kind of church. So,
all right.
But still, the idea of doing things intentionally and switching it up by season or whatever, that is useful, I think.
Oh yeah.
And all the Presbyterians that I went to seminary with, they loved Maundy Thursday. I don't remember them ever mentioning Ash Wednesday, but they had communion about 5 times a year.
9 times a year.
One Sunday a quarter, and or one Sunday every other month or something, and then Maundy Thursday.
Maundy Thursday. We never had Ash Wednesday service. We had Maundy Thursday service. Didn't always have Good Friday service. But always Maundy Thursday.
I believe the Jehovah's Witnesses do not observe Easter at all, but they make a big deal of Good Friday. That's their big celebration that they find meaningful and whatever. So, see, everybody does it differently.
Learn something new. That's all right.
Do what you do.
There you go.
All right.
Well, that's today with the Queer God Squad.
Before we go, we want to invite you to join Sunshine Cathedral on a wonderful travel experience and help our mission for our community. Join us on the Florida AIDS Walk Pride Cruise. This unique 3-day cruise will sail from Miami on the $1 billion and ultra-deluxe 170,000-ton MSC Seascape on November 2nd, 2025. The cruise is for the Florida AIDS Walk. Your participation helps 13 vital beneficiaries in our community. The cruise is an incredible value starting at just $199 and is also a fundraiser for the Sunshine Cathedral. Parties, special events, and more aboard, including a special unlimited beverage and open bar with Wi-Fi for all 3 days for just $68. We invite you to join us on this amazing cruise for fun. This vital cruise for good.
Thank you for joining the Queer God Squad today. We are here daily at 3 p.m. to have some fun and to discuss what our LGBTQ community is talking about. Sunshine Cathedral is the world's leading progressive queer church. Progressive, queer, and God are words that naturally should go together. Remember that. We all are in this together.
Also remember, you are God's miracle, not God's mistake. Until next time, we are the Queer God Squad. Goodbye.
Bye.